Movies are back in cinemas and we are commencing this journey with Roohi. The film produced by Dinesh Vijan's Matic Films is more or less an extension of the world that was introduced to us with Stree, something that I will explore and explain as the review progresses. The film is set in the town of Bagarpur, where there is a long-going tradition of bride kidnapping. When the two dimwits, Bahura and Katani, played by Rajkummar Rao and Varun Sharma respectively, execute one of the abductions, they are told that the wedding has been cancelled and hence have to be in hiding for at least a week with the kidnapped girl Roohi, played by Janhvi Kapoor. While in a dilapidated and secluded wooden factory, they understand and identify that Roohi is possessed by a Churail. The events that take place after this realization, which includes the characters falling head over heels for her, the methods to extract the spirit, and finally what is the motivation or reason for the spirit to be so disturbed that it seeks for vengeance or some kind of closure, forms the storyline of Roohi. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch Roohi in theaters or not. The good. Rajkummar Rao. No matter how bad the product is, I find myself always getting mesmerized by the effortless nature of Rajkummar Rao's performances. Even in rather below average products like Chhalang or Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aisa Laga, the poor writing or the lack of screen time doesn't hamper Rao from making an impression with audiences. The only drawback that I can think of regarding his performance as the naive and kind-hearted Bahura is the creative decision taken with his accent. Through many sequences, especially the back and forth that he shares with Varun Sharma, it's tough to decipher what exactly is being said. The accent and the added layer of a speech impediment, while noble in execution, does get rather lost in translation. What I can't deny, however, is that he is the best performer of Roohi. There is something special about whenever Rajkumar's character falls helplessly in love with a female character. There is something so hilarious of his wide batisi as he can't help himself but smile whenever she comes in front of him. There are several moments also where you will notice that he will elevate the scene in empty moments as well through improvisation. The stark difference in ability and skill is clear whenever he shares the screen with anyone. Hardik Mehta's strengths. So anyone who is not privy to Hardik Mehta's filmography, his documentary Ahmedabad Ma Famous and his film with Sanjay Mishra Kamyab have the ability to absolutely captivate you. While it is undeniable that Roohi might be the weakest link in his filmography, it more or less seems like the integration of a talented director in the commercial space, thinking that magic will take place in front of camera. Much like I guess what they expected with Hansal Mehta and Chhalang. You guys will totally understand this, that Roohi is a film that only works in moments of the several topics that it wants to flesh out. But while I acknowledge this, Hardik still has the ability to capture extremely clever moments, even in the most dire or absurd circumstances. The sudden change of expression in a girl who has been kidnapped for a wedding when she sees the jewelry being presented to her, the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao slogan plastered on walls as an abduction takes place in broad daylight, or even the play fighting between two best friends over a girl. Hardik has the ability, only fleetingly though, to make an impression with the audience. Potential and world building. I was reading an article about the film and why would Rajkumar do a horror comedy on a Churail again with the same production house, and then I realized they are actually trying to build a Maddock horror comedy cinematic universe with all of these characters. One of the main reasons why Rajkumar plays the role so different in Roohi compared to his role as Vicky in Stree is because there is a possibility of a doubled role for Rajkumar. With the introduction of Bhedia with Varun Dhawan in the lead, the makers are trying to create a world where these characters can overlap and interlink with one another. While Roohi may be a below average product, this is an idea that does look promising. Now let's get to the juicy part. The underwhelming aspects. The music. I'll just put it out there right now and say that I'm not a fan of the generic packaging of the music of this film. It's almost as if there was little to no effort made in designing the album. While the structure of the songs is almost identical to that of Stree, having a dance number where the woman is the prime focus, another dance number for the credits, and a soulful tune to showcase the romantic interest and dynamic between the two characters. Honestly, except the melodious tune sung by Jubin Nautiyal, the film just boasts of poor renditions of original songs that will make you come to the sad conclusion that the cyclical nature of remix songs in commercial Bollywood isn't stopping anytime soon. At least Stree boasted of original dance numbers, while Janhvi looks great in the Let the Music Play remake. I hope creators understand that we're seeking and will appreciate original numbers. The writing and lack of impression. Listen, the comparison with Stree is inevitable because it has so many parallels or commonalities. But while watching Roohi, I actually started reminiscing about my theatre experience while watching Stree. How is it that I was terrified and instantly bursting out with laughter almost throughout the film? What was so special about it? And then I realized it didn't have one thing that was possibly Stree's biggest strength. Its story and screenplay written by the talented duo of Raj and DK. That was not only expansive and detailed, but so fascinating to explore as the minutes passed by. The writing in Roohi by Mrigdeep Singh Lamba and Gautam Mehra, while only hits in fleeting moments, does not have the same ability to make you hysterically laugh while also make you bite your nails in fear. The treatment of the gags of the film are restricted to talking about Gotas and Varun channelizing his inner chucha while vintage Hindi songs play. You know the gag in Mehuna where whenever Shah Rukh Khan sees Sushmita Sen, music would start playing, his hands would suddenly rise. It's funny, right? But if you use the same gag without any variations throughout the film, it loses its spark. You will experience that in Roohi. You know, I respect the hustle of an actor like Varun Sharma, but he embodies what happens when you restrict yourself to a certain type of role. The quirky best friend in every film now for Varun is getting tiring, and while I respect his effort, it falls in the same line of roles he has already done. Janhvi has little to work with from a writing point of view. She is mostly reactionary in the first half with little to no dialogues, and it is only in the second half where she can put forth a performance. While she is convincing in moments, she has a sequence where she has to channelize her inner Ajay Devgan from Diwangi, but lacks the intensity which has otherwise been showcased by veterans like Vidya Balan and Flora Saini. She is not out of place in the film, but this performance won't be remembered a few months from now. The environment and the lack of fear. One of the main reasons why Stree was so successful is that its environment had its own character. The Chandedi village in the film and its people had its own personality that the viewers could get accustomed to and transported to. Sadly, Roohi doesn't really have a personality with respect to the world that it is set in. It primarily just focuses on the three characters and the problem at hand. It doesn't feel as if the viewers are a part of their surroundings. Similarly, with regards to horror, there was a mysticism and distance kept from the supernatural presence, which made the unknown even more scary. However, in Roohi, the Churail in several moments is so calm and indulging in the comedy, it actually takes away from the deep resentment and pain she communicates in the final act. I understand the intention of the film to have a modern take on the existence of women in today's society, but the narrative is so jumbled and messy that even though I love the cast that is involved in the film, I can't help but confess that it's simply a below average derivative of Stree, which you guys had already predicted when I spoke about the trailer. You won't be up for any surprises really with this one. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.